Communities across America are being influenced with a political philosophy known as sustainable development. It is a philosophy that fundamentally creates a town character that runs counter to individuality, ingenuity, innovation, and ultimately liberty. At the federal and state government level, there are numerous grants that are being made available by various agencies. Some of these are by the Partnership for Sustainable Communities, a new joint partnership of Housing and Urban Development, Department of Transportation, and the Environmental Protection Agency. This partnership was created by President Obama. Additionally, there are also numerous non-governmental organizations that are proponents of the sustainable development philosophy and are helping to grow its influence worldwide. One of the largest of these is the International Council of Local Environmental Initiatives, Local Governments for Sustainability, or the ICLEI for short. Over 600 member communities within the United States of America pay annual dues to receive advice and tools to bring about a community transition to sustainable development. Sustainable development is a philosophy that is being promoted as progress to communities nationwide at an alarming rate, with leaders giving sustainable communities special labels like livable, walkable, smart growth, or communities of place. Communities are being cast against each other using various monitoring and grading certification systems, such as the STAR Community Index, that determine how far communities have advanced down the path of sustainability and achieved so-called livability. Under this premise, the communities who are graded more sustainable will have first access to massive grant incentives from federal, state, and non-governmental sources down the road. These pressures are being used nationwide to draw communities further into the sustainable development movement. Sustainable development is defined as development which meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. As such, sustainability is being promoted as merely being green and conservationism, even though it is a much, much deeper political philosophy. Sustainable development is typically introduced to a community through seemingly harmless community projects, like transportation upgrades, greenways, alternative modes of mobility, clean air and water programs, healthy living programs, affordable housing, energy efficiency, and organic agriculture. As sustainable development grows in a community, it grows in influence, giving way to plans that are not so seemingly harmless, such as redefining philosophies of local growth and development, creating compact, high-density, transit-oriented urban centers, radically changing long-standing land use planning, as well as introducing sophisticated programs like complete streets and smart growth to the local community. At its core, sustainable development is a political philosophy which for the first time demands that the sustainable balance of environment, economy, and social equity be the deciding lens through which all community development, growth, and decisions are viewed. All other growth, development, and decisions are seen as unsustainable. Under the sustainable development system, progressive concepts like social equity, environmental justice, redistribution of wealth, and behavioral engineering run rampant and form the basis for which growth decisions are made. Remember these three: environment, economy, and social equity. They are the three linked pillars of sustainable development. They are also known as the three E's, or the triple bottom line. It is a concept that is directly opposed to the traditional bottom line of our American system of free enterprise and capitalism. The triple bottom line is often expressed with the symbol of three interlocking circles, with the center of these circles representing the perfect harmony of sustainability. The origins of sustainable development aren't from good old hometown USA. It is a world planning philosophy that was born out of the United Nations in 1987 and started on its path to implementation in the early 1990s. The defining document that launched the concept of sustainable development was written by a UN commission in 1987. It is a document designed to visualize a future for our world, called Our Common Future. This document was also known as the Brundtland Report, because the chairman of the authoring commission was Gro Harlem Brundtland, a socialist leader of Norway and later the vice chairman of the World Socialist Party. A later United Nations document called Agenda 21 was written and agreed upon at the Earth Summit in 1992 in Rio de Janeiro, and is the framework for enacting a sustainable development agenda worldwide. In 1993, President Bill Clinton signed an executive order creating the President's Council on Sustainable Development. This council consisted of multiple cabinet-level officials, corporate business leaders, and the heads of many environmental organizations, and was tasked with translating the international efforts that had been accomplished with Agenda 21 at Rio's Earth Summit into policy in the United States of America. In February 1996, this council released Sustainable America, a new consensus for prosperity, opportunity, and a healthy environment for the future, detailing how to bring about sustainable development in the United States. The sustainable development philosophy holds a contentious view of the American way of life. The American people and capitalism are both viewed as wasteful, consumerist, greedy, and even imperialistic. Many areas and staples of American life, including the suburbs, having your own yard, private automobile ownership, plastic bags, paper bags, cheeseburgers, any and all meat industry, gasoline, oil, all fossil fuels, hunting, air conditioning, air travel, traditional lawnmowers, deodorant, traditional fireplaces, and many, many more items and choices that are too numerable to mention are considered unsustainable. To give additional understanding of this, here is a small sampling of quotes from advocates of sustainable development and Agenda 21. Current lifestyles and consumption patterns of the affluent middle class, involving high meat intake, the use of fossil fuels, electrical appliances, home and workplace air conditioning, and suburban housing, are not sustainable. This is from Maurice Strong, father of sustainable development. From Rajendra Pachauri, the chair of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change at the UN. He warned that Western society must undergo a radical value shift if the worst effects of climate change were to be avoided. A new value system of sustainable consumption was now urgently required, he said. Today, we have reached the point where consumption and people's desire to consume has grown out of proportion, said Pachauri. The reality is that our lifestyles are unsustainable. And our final quote, consideration should also be given to the present concepts of economic growth and the need for new concepts of wealth and prosperity, which allow higher standards of living through changed lifestyles, and are less dependent on the Earth's finite resources and more in harmony with the Earth's carrying capacity. This should be reflected in the evolution of new systems of national accounts and other indicators of sustainable development. This is taken directly from the pages of Agenda 21. At the end of the day, the Sustainable Development Movement desires to build a utopia based on socialism, ecological extremism, and progressive social engineering principles. Any student of political discourse knows that attempting to create a utopia has never worked and has always ended up badly. Less than a year ago, I had never heard of the philosophy of sustainable development. It was as I sat at home researching what I was seeing in the news and media about America in the wake of the financial crisis that I was taken back at how pervasive the idea that America needed to go through a paradigm shift towards sustainability. That somehow the American system of governance and economy as we have always known it suddenly was fatally flawed and unsustainable. As I searched for those who would defend the traditional role of free enterprise and capitalism, I was met at almost every turn with the same language over and over again: sustainable development. It is a movement with political goals that has achieved an enormous amount while being largely portrayed as altruistic. I would encourage everyone to research the worldview and beliefs that lie behind the positive green spin. For more information, I would invite each of you to visit the American Alert News website at www.americanalertnews.com. Please also continue your own research and share this video with anyone who you think may be interested.